And we're back. Welcome to the Bad Blood Podcast, people. We've got a new format this time. Well, not so much of a new format, but it's a bit different, as you can see from the last time. We're live here at the AK Live Studios in Gateshead. Thank you to Thurston and Terry, doing a fantastic job, stepping the game up a notch, constantly, always trying to improvise and be better. So thank you very much. As always, we're brought to you by Spartan BK Fight Club. Big shout out to Christian and the boys there. He's are doing an absolutely amazing job, especially in this current time. We're also brought to you by Mr. Bloom's Black Oil Seed Mechanics. You check their Facebook page out. They've absolutely fantastic products. It really got a lot of health benefits. So have a check them out as well. We're also brought to you by Northern Sports Marketing. Steve Wilby doing a fantastic job there for the boxers and different forms of combat sports, even footballers as well. So, yep, that's who we're brought by.
I'll give a big shout out to Steve Stewart over at the Governor Sports and Nutrition. And he's got a clothing range, the Governor Sports and Nutrition clothing range. And in there you can find the Spartan BK FC clothing range as well. The Governor, they deal with fat burners, proteins, weight gains, fight wear, training clothes, anything that you need for training. So hit Steve Stewart up on all social medias, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, stuff like that.
Right, we'll get into it. Today, we've got a fantastic guest. He's burst onto the scene like no man has ever done before. Lewis Francis, how are you, my man?
I'm alright, mate. Aye, how we doing?
How was your journey up here?
Alright, aye.
Good.
Steady away, aye.
So, how did it all come about with this BareKnuckle?
Well, obviously, I've not long been out of prison. I got out about Christmas time, and I just knew that getting back into me fighting and all, that's where I wanted to go. So, I've ended up speaking to a lad who said he was quite high up in it, whether he was or wasn't, I don't know, but I spoke to him anyway, and he pointed us in the right direction to speak to obviously the relevant people who could obviously make it happen for us, do you know what I mean? So yeah, so I was fit, ready to go, obviously start working on the technique straight away as soon as I was told I was going to get a fight. And here we are, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. You're a unit, like, how tall are you?
About 6'6", 6'7", depending on what police station I'm studying.
What's your weight in that?
Wait, I've lost a stone and a half ready for this fight. So you should be seeing a lot more speed out of us for this next one. But yeah, I was 18 and a half for that last one, and I think I'm about 17 at the moment, just over 17 stone.
Would it be possible to get any faster? Because that combo that you laid Decca down with was pretty fast.
Well, I feel like I've stepped the gear up again now. Like I've done the work that I'm doing. I spar with some kids that have been quite high up in the fight game, and they're a little bit lighter than me, and they were really hard to catch. And now I'm catching them with nice clean shots regular. Do you know what I mean? So the technique and the learning curve's coming on more and more every day. Do you know what I mean? Like
because you come from a very, very, very successful gym, don't you?
Yeah, we do. Like I say, I was I believe I'm the first BareKnuckle fighter that's come out of the SPG gym.
Oh, brilliant.
So obviously I'm like trying to pilot the whole, obviously every other fighting style going. We know not to be messed with, do you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's what I want to do in the BK world as well for SPG as well, do you know what I mean? So
how have they taken to that? Obviously because SPG is obviously well known throughout the world, highlighted by McGregor. How have they taken to you doing this sport? Because a lot of people do look at it as a very brutal art, but it's a fantastic sport.
Well, like I say, I've only had feedback from Davey Grant, who runs the Bishop one so far, do you know what I mean? But obviously he's very positive about it all, like he's behind us 100% of the way, do you know? And like I say, he just wants us to go far, do you know? The end game for me is going to be into the UFC, do you know what I mean? Like, but I'm not going to turn me back on the BareKnuckle completely. I just obviously want to make a statement and get a good pedigree for myself, do you know what I mean? Yeah. So
with Spartan, as people know, it's in the hay bales. Yeah. It's not like normal boxing. You haven't really got enough space to move around. You haven't really got enough time to think. What were you thinking? What did you expect for the first time coming into that pit?
Do you know what it is? It was the size of the ring that was confusing us. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, because I knew I was prepared for anything. Had it been a ring show, I think I'd have been able to show a lot more of my capabilities, but it just played into my hand not being able to do that because the fight was over that quickly. People still don't know much about us. So that's all good for us. And then, like I say, now I know the rings are only short. If anything, that helps people who are a little bit smaller because they don't have to find the range and struggle getting in because they're already in range. Do you know what I mean? So it's just learn to adapt for me. But like I say, a good fighter can adapt to any scenario that you can put them into. So like just as long as I can concentrate, keep my game plans right and all that, we're going to go with it. Do you know what I mean? I'm treating this like it's a professional sport. How it should be treated. Do you know what I mean? It's not just a weekend recreation for me. I don't take drugs. I don't drink. I train 3 times a day. Do you know what I mean? So for me, this is just
it's a way of living, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
How did you adjust your training to actually from training in octagon ring to the pit?
Do you know what it is? To be fair, I wasn't doing much training in the octagon. I've just started training, like going into. Do you know what I mean? Like I've only been home 9.5 months or something. So it's like I haven't been doing much UFC fighting either. But that's just the gym that I'm getting trained at. Do you know what I mean? So, so I haven't done much of that. But obviously, I've been around the fight game my full life. I've been involved in. I've been in the gyms. I've been in the sparring. Do you know what I mean? In prison, I've been in every gym in the country. You know, and I've been in all the gyms in them. So it's like it's just something I'm used to. Do you know what I mean? Like, and you know, fighting is what I was born to do. Do you know? If I'm not fighting in the pits, if I'm not fighting in the ring, I'm fighting in the street. So it's do you know what I mean?
Professional, aren't you?
Yeah.
So what is your actual background from fighting, even from growing up?
Where did you start?
Yeah, my family, I think. I come from a family full of fighters. Obviously, like my uncle was a world champion. My dad's a rough man. My grandfather obviously was a boxer, ran a boxing coach. His uncle owns his own, like his brother owns his own boxing gym. You know, like
bread and
yeah. Do you know? It's like, you know, I think I've got my great grandfather on my dad's side. He fed the family pit fighting years ago. He went down south to fight, feed the family. That's how he did it. He left his jobs and went down the country somewhere. My father was telling us, obviously, because his mother and father was telling him when he told them what he was going to do. They were telling him, obviously, his mother's thing he took off to go feed the family. I didn't even know that, you know what I mean? And then my great grandfather on my mother's side, he was a foreman in the pits. Wow. And he used to fight down there as well, so it's like, you know, like it's just something that's natural. It's mad, like, you know, history just repeats itself. It's just in your genetics, and it's just happening with me. Do you know what I mean?
That's mad. How it's kept within. See, we were just mentioning before, weren't we? It's in with DNA.
Yeah, I didn't even know like all that either. That was just something that come out in the build up of the last fight.
Coincidence.
Yeah,
It's definitely bred in your mind, isn't it?
Yeah, but like I say, I feel like obviously to do with God. Do you know what I mean? Like obviously God's put us on this path. He's told us, look at the way what you've been doing was wrong for you, and nothing was working out. And it was like when I was away in jail that time there, it was like I need to sort this out here because otherwise I'm going to be back for the rest of my life. Do you know what I mean? So I'll come out and give it me all. Do you know what I mean? I feel like I'm on the right path now. I'm doing what I was supposed to be doing in the first place. Everything's just lined up. I've got the right coaches, the right gym, the right sparring partner, the right set of friends that are all into the same thing. You know, I've never had it like this before where it's all fitting into place. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's like what you need.
Straight away, man. Like, you know, there's I could have been waiting to get into fighting any other style, and straight away, bang, into this, and then this is working out for us. And it's just like this fight game is what I was supposed to do. Do you know what I mean? And I'm hoping to show you big things and do big things for you. You know.
Oh well, you definitely showed that. You showed a glimpse of it in your first fight, mate. 1000%. Because, like I say, you took a lot of people by storm. You did. You really did. I mean, the feedback.
That's the beauty of it. Like you've just said there. Like the fight didn't go on that long, so people actually still don't know what to expect from you. What they saw was what we're talking 16 seconds. That's not enough to go on anything. Like if your next opponent, like of fighters watch their opponent's fights, they try and analyse, try and notice patterns. You're kind of getting out from 16 seconds, so you're still coming in fresh.
The very size here as well, people just presume, big, clumsy. See what I mean? You come in, you are coordinated, straight punches,
straight down the middle.
Everything was sweet, so I think you've got a very big future on the pit myself.
Well, like I say, I hope so. I want to make BK Spartan, like I want to obviously take that as far as I can, do you know what I mean? If I can broadcast the name for Spartan, and obviously the boys who are all involved in it, then obviously I'll do what I can for them as well, do you know what I mean? Because we're all a big family at the end of the day, so...
Yeah, that's the truth.
I mean...
all brothers, but like punching each other on the face.
Yeah, that's what brothers do, isn't it?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
So...
obviously, Christian knows the promoter and the owner of Pandemic Promotions. How did you find that experience? How did you find it when you first arrived?
From getting
what was
matched up to actually winning your fight to afterwards.
Do you know what it is? The full thing was awesome. Like you know, like just to put a buzz. Like you know, even the people that I brought. You know, if I wasn't fighting and I wasn't involved in any way, I was just turned up to watch it. Just what a bit of crack, man. Do you know, like it's a proper lads' day out, innit? Do you know what I mean? Like, do you know, like the full thing's just amazing. Like, do you know, hats off to everybody involved. Like, it's the full thing's class.
It's amazing,
you know what I mean?
the type of people that you meet at these shows as well. Like, because it sounds rough, pit fighting. You're fighting here, Bales, BareKnuckle.
Yeah.
Everybody's expecting everybody to be savage animals, this, that, and the other. But when you actually get to meet them and speak to the blokes, all like down to earth blokes, all there for the same thing. It's just a sheer like show of respect.
Yeah, it's just the buzz in it. It's just good crack. Do you know what I mean? You can't get no better crack than that. I've been to millions of boxing shows and all that, and like this is just a different level. It's in its own little world, innit? Do you know what I mean? Like, so, especially the way it was set up and all. Do you know, like fucking like brilliant. Yeah, it was meant to just.
So like obviously, this is clearly your first like big interview.
Yeah, it is.
So what's your thoughts?
It's a bit nerve-wracking.
What's going through that?
I feel like I'm under interrogation. Big light sitting in my face and that. But
yeah. So you mentioned you had a bit of a checkered past, being in jail and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Can you tell a little bit about that?
Obviously when I was a bit younger, like I stopped boxing and stuff like that and started knocking about the streets with everybody. I think every fighter's done it, you know, like apart from the best ones. And I had a bright future in boxing, like as a young'un, and I turned away. I started taking obviously drugs, smoking weed and all that as you do, drinking with my pals. And so then obviously a few years down the line, went down the wrong thing, started looking up at people who were running about going on like they hard. You know, years later you look at them, you think, hey, they divvies, do you know what I mean? But when you were young'un, you're the fucking hardest men in the world, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, it's like they say, like little fish in a big pond, do you know what I mean? Obviously, or big fish in a little pond, do you know what I mean? So, anyways, started going on the same way before you know it, I'm in jail, do you know? So I've had a few sentences under me, but I think I've done about 8 years out of the past 10 behind the door, do you know what I mean? Well, fucking, I've been to jail for stuff I haven't done, I've been to jail for stuff I have done, do you know? But the last one I did just under 4 behind the door I did. Obviously, I got shipped out in any other prison in the country. I ended up fucking double cat A's, security ship outs, ended up stuck down London. There weren't no prison in the country.
What was the roughest one?
The shittest jail, and this is the God's honest truth, and I hope you're watching, is fucking old mouse. Do you know what I mean? Because you just don't get out the cell, do you know what I mean? There's no lifestyle in there, they treat you like you're a dog. But you know, jail's what you make it, and I quite like being down London. Do you know what I mean? First place I ever had Ciroc vodka was in the prisons down London. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, the lads will be watching now. So shout out to you all. Do you know what I mean? But,
that's the one. Like,
fucking good crack. Do you know what I mean? But I come home. I've obviously trying to sort myself out. Being home 9 months, I'm doing all right. Got the right people around us, sticking into me training. Training's the answer for us, because it keeps me head right. Do you know what I mean? Like if I'm not training, I start putting my energy into other stuff. Do you know what I mean? So
were your size in that what was like in jail? Because obviously the bigger you are, the more you want.
People say all that bullshit. Jail's just what you make of it. If you're not a fucking scumbag and you're not a rat, then you'll be alright, do you know what I mean? Fucking, like I say, the screws used to be half decent with us most prisons because they didn't want us kicking off, or because the authority that I have in prisons, obviously I could keep control of the wings when I needed to. Do you know what I mean? So it is what it is. It wasn't a bad place, it isn't a hard place, it isn't a deterrent to me, it doesn't bother us, but what type of life can you have in there, what type of life can you have out here, do you know what I mean? So like I say, try my hardest, stay out. Get into the fight, and do you know what I mean? I believe I've got what it takes to be one of the best fighters that's been about, you know what I mean? If I can get into that UFC game and crack that as well, we're taking off, do you know?
Oh, you're a fresh new talent, based straight into the scene, like. Yeah. Have you not got like sponsors and that behind you?
Nah, none at the moment, mate.
You're not actively looking for sponsors?
Yeah, no, I haven't been, to be fair. Obviously I'm open to any, but it's who do you approach, do you know what I mean? Without sound like you're begging, so, do you know what I mean? But yeah, so.
Well, I'm surprised I actually haven't had people.
I'm very surprised.
Yeah, no.
So right there, going back, you've done a bit of amateur boxing. Did you have much success in amateurs?
Well, not that I really wanted to talk about.
Yeah, you're on a new page now. You're a professional bare-knuckle pit fighter now. It's all different now, man.
Like I say, I was a tinies and weighing Northumberland and come be a champion a few years off the belt, like in the golden gloves.
That's the style.
So for the schoolboys, you know what I mean? Like I got that a couple of years off the belt, like and then like I say, started getting into other stuff. I enjoy my boxing, but aye.
How old do you reckon you were when you had your first scrap?
First fight, I can tell you clear as day. I used to get picked on off a fella when I was until about year 2. Do you know what I mean? And I just fucking lost it one day, and I knocked his teeth out as well. And I was in the primary school. Do you know what I mean? But that was my first fight, and then after that, like I don't think I've ever stopped. You know?
Just kept going.
Oh yeah, I love it. I love the buzz of it. You feel alive, don't you? Do you know what I mean? Like, you know that last fight there, you go on, everyone says, oh, you get nervous before a fight, everybody goes, no, that last one, there was nothing, I just knew I had a job and knew what to do.
Oh, look,
do you know what I mean?
Thriving off
it's what I love it, man, do you know what I mean? It's like, genuinely, it's what I was put on this earth to do. Do you know what I mean? That's what been given the genetics for it, I've been given the size to build and everything for it. This is what I was born to do. There's not many people in the world can say that this is what I was born to do, do you know what I mean? It is. So...
that's definitely bang on the money.
Right, so, yeah, obviously you're training SBG, you're doing bare-knuckle pit fighting now, you've done a bit of boxing. How long do you think you're going to see yourself as a bare-knuckle fighter for? Well, you don't really see like massively long careers in this kind of sport. How long do you reckon it's going to be before you see it, right? It's time to make a change.
It depends. Like, listen, if I get the right contract and the right money, I'll stay in bare-knuckle. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you know, if it's going to take off for us and I'm going to make the right money off it and I'm going to be able to like have the right living and life, like the right lifestyle that I need, I could stay. Yeah, do you know what I mean? But it's like obviously there's doors going to open for us in different things, and
it's going to open up everything.
Do you know, obviously, and I want to go pursue that as well. Like I say, I want to master everything. Do you know, like.
Be the best at it all.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Every angle covered.
Yeah, do you know? So yeah, that's where I'm going. Do you know? But yeah, if the doors open up for us and something good's going to happen, if I can get onto the American shows and all that, I'll be there. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I wouldn't say that I'm ever going to give up on bare-knuckle completely. Do you know? But I might be just pottering in and out along the way.
Yeah.
No.
So what's a typical day in the life of Lewis Francis?
Right. I wake up on the morning about 6 in the morning, have a bowl of porridge. I've had porridge for about €5. Do you know what I mean? So, God. Right, and then I'll go out, I'll do my run between 3 and 6 miles every day, 5 days a week. And then obviously I go out, do my weights and strength and conditioning training during the day. And then on the afternoon I do all my technical stuff and obviously whatever Davey's got installed with my pad work, my spar and all that, do you know what I mean? So that's it, 5 days a week, sometimes a bit more, do you know.
Smashing it.
I climb mountains, like obviously I think there was an argument where mountains were mentioned, but if people look at my Instagram page, I'm up a mountain every weekend, do you know what I mean? Like I think a couple of weeks ago we were stood on the top of Scarfell Pike and we'd climbed 4 mountains that day. We'd done, started off on Base Brown, Great Gable, Green Gable and then Scarfell at the end and then did pads at the top of that. Do you know what I mean? So like all that mountain climbing, that's a bit of me, do you know what I mean? I like being outdoors as well, so I climb mountains regular and stuff, and that's it really, do you know what I mean?
That's what we are, man, we're hunter-gatherers.
Yeah, we are, we're playing evil in the brain, that's how we do what we're doing.
Hunter-gatherers.
Savages.
Pure savages. So, like, obviously you've said you might pop in and out of bare-knuckle and that. When you first went to the SBG gym, how did you find that? Like, was it daunting? Were you...
Well, nah, because what it is I'm a friend of Davy Grant's friend. Well, I'm Davy Grant's friend now. I class him as a real good pal, but at the time I didn't know him, and they introduced us to him because obviously they've seen something in us. And they're ex-fighters as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, the people like family was like my mother and father at the moment, and so they've introduced us to Davy. Said, look, I think we've got something special here. Davy said, look, he was bang. Do you know what I mean? He said, right, listen, keep yourself right. You do what you do, and I can make you like into the thing. But while this was happening, obviously, the bare-knuckle thing's obviously being talked about in the background with another friend. So it was like bang, and then I was like, all of a sudden it was like, I've got a fight, and Davey was like, right, well then let's get ready for it, you know. And then that's how it was made, you know what I mean? Listen, honestly, like, do you know, he's the best coach in the world, like, you know, and the man has got more dedication. Like, do you want to see the way he goes on with the young'uns and all that? Like, you know, I don't know anybody who could do what he does and fight alongside of it. You know, like the man's a different level, and you know, when you're around him, you can just tell you're around. You're near magic. Do you know what I mean? Like, and he makes you. You know, I'm ready for anything. This next fight, I'm ready for anything. I was never the fight coming, all the next fights coming up until that world champion belt. I've been training for that belt since I walked into that gym. Do you know what I mean? I even said these fights don't mean nothing to us till I've got the world title belt, and that's where I'm heading for. Do you know what I mean?
You've got your eyes on the prize.
Yeah. So it's like I'm already training for 3 and 4 fights ahead of this. Do you know what I mean? So hopefully we'll be able to deal with this man Swift as well. Swift is the last one, but I'd like to be able to showcase a little bit of skill, because I think there's people in the heavyweight division need to see what I'm really capable of. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
So you might just take it a little step off and just
do you know
box.
what I mean? I think, like I said, Davey's even told us this man that I'm fighting next, his style's ideal for me. Do you know what I mean? He's ideal for us. He's got everything that I need, so I can showcase a little bit of skill. So we should see good things on this next show.
Yes. So obviously you're ranked high, you're champion. Who is the ultimate test for you, do you feel?
In the heavyweight division.
Do you know what it is? I haven't really took no notice of anybody else. I'm dealing with them as they come into us. Do you know what I mean?
You're just doing your own thing.
Yeah. But obviously check each opponent out and then deal with them as they come in. There's one person I'm dying to get hold of though, and I can't wait, and that's the world champion. Do you know what I mean? And he knows who he is. And I'm just dying to get hold of him. He's the one I want to fight the most now. He didn't even come on my radar until a couple of weeks ago. It was the belt I was bothered about. But I think people have got egos that need sorting out. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So
you're there to straighten them.
Yeah.
Yeah. We know the fighter. Yeah. We'll have to say his name, Mike Marshall. Yeah. Where you had him in. How long ago was it? On Coast Radio, not too long ago. Really looking forward to that fight. Really looking forward to it.
Me too. Do you know what I mean?
So how has Wayne come across onto your radar?
I speak to Wayne every couple of days nearly over Facebook and all that. He's a good kid, I like him, do you know what I mean? Obviously, he didn't want to fight us for that British belt. From what I've heard, he wanted to chase after the transatlantic one. So obviously, so we never had to cross paths. Obviously, I don't think it's going to look like we're going to. Do you know what I mean? So he's a pal. Do you know what I mean? He's a pal in the heavyweight division at the moment. We talk well to each other and all that, respectful. So like I say, offered him down to come and do a bit of training with us for the weeks. He hasn't got back to us yet, but
yeah. Well, see, that's the difference, because that's the two sides to the sport of every combat sport. You've got like the people who you get on with, and then you've got them who you perceive as disrespectful to what you're trying to do. How do you find a balance to that? How?
You don't even need to balance it out, do you? You know, obviously, you know you don't like, and you know you like. Do you know what I mean?
And is it just plain simple, just don't associate with them at all, and just
just wait until I get my hands on them, and then obviously I'll talk to the other ones. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. I don't think you need to balance it out. Just
keep it straight. Right. So in this Spartan stuff, this bare-knuckle pit fighting, despite whatever belts you may win, what do you want to be remembered for ultimately at the end of your career? What do you want people to think? Oh, fucking hell, that Lewis Francis. What do you want people to think about you at the end of it?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I've never really thought of it. Do you know what I mean? Unbeaten, hopefully.
Yeah. Game as a come.
Just rely. Obviously, like I say, I'm a fighter. That's what I do. Do you know what I mean? It's my job. So remember just for being a fighter. You know what I mean?
Training wise, like, what's your meal set plan? Do you have large meals, small meals, many meals?
It's about every couple of hours, I think. It depends. It changes. It varies through me training. Like, obviously, at the start of camp, sometimes I'm doing a little bit more weight, so it's higher protein. And then obviously at the end of them, the carbohydrate goes up. Do you know what I mean? Obviously. And just try and keep a balanced diet.
It's just where you're being a big lad. I was just wanting to know how you maintain it.
Yeah. But obviously, like I say, I've been in the gyms for years and years now. Do you know what I mean? I spent a lot of time muscle building, so it's mad. Like, you know, obviously, like I say, you'll see a lot more difference in my speed this time. Believe. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like I'm getting looser and looser, and it's all coming back. Do you know, the technique's coming back, everything's coming. So we're right. Do you know what I mean?
Wow, that's
this next fight, how are you hoping it pans out? Obviously you're going for the win, but are you wanting because it's not very often you see past the second round, never mind not very often you see past the first round, never mind the second round. Are you going to try and like go a 3-round distance, or are you just going in, show a bit and then hopefully just put them out?
We'll see how it goes, do you know what I mean? Obviously, I'm not going to like belittle anybody, but I am ready for any scenario when we get in them bills. It's as simple as that. I'm trained, I'm ready for anything that they throw us, do you know what I mean? So, yeah, like I was even thinking about fighting 2 people. That's, you know, both times I spoke to somebody, obviously, in charge, and obviously like I've said to him, like, okay, I'll fight another cunt straight after, and he was like, just stay on the path you're on, do you know what I mean? And I wanted to do it last time as well, so I'm fit enough, do you know what I mean? But yeah, just take it as it comes. I've trained for everything, every different scenario. Like I say, I know the style that's going to come, and I think we've got a few good things up our sleeve to deal with it, so it's good, do you know what I mean?
How's like your family background? Is you were brought up like your mum and dad and stuff like that?
I got brought up mainly off my mother. Like, well, I think I was about 14-year-old. I lived on my own ever since. Do you know what I mean? So I just fucking
self-dependent.
Yeah,
I've done it all off your own back.
I've always been my own man. Do you know what I mean? And headstrong. So yeah, so that's a crack.
Right, brilliant. So what advice would you give anybody thinking about like BareKnuckle, never mind just boxing? What advice would you give us in, like, don't do it if your head's not in 100%, that kind of stuff?
Do you know what it is? I think if anybody's got agitation or anything inside them, or even mental health and all that, I think that's the ideal place to be, because it gets it out your system, it gives you a drive and a point towards you, do you know what I mean? But it's if I'm giving advice out, it's to all the young'uns who are sat and they partying and they're looking up to arseholes, like, you know, I think they're the ones that need the advice. I think you fucking just get yourselves in the gym, or just find something that you're good at, and fucking just chase after that, and, you know, make something good of that, because, you know, all that fucking sitting in houses all weekend with slings who are shagging each other's lasses and taking drugs and all that, it's not fucking good, like, and, you know, they're the people that are going to lead you down the path and get you into trouble. So if I'm giving advice out there, the people I'm giving advice to, do you know what I mean? Do you know?
Spot on, mate.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
It is, it's a younger generation.
Of course it is.
These that you will now be classed as a role model for younger fighters. They'll be looking up, and now you've got to set that path for them. You've got to show them how it is.
That's what I'm hoping to do. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I can stop one person going down the same way I've been, like, do you know what I mean? And fucking good going. Do you know what I mean? Because it's a rough life, like, and, you know, being a criminal and that now, it's not what it used to be. Do you know, the fucking the same people that are running about like the gangsters are the ones that are talking to the police. So just like I say, just stay away from it. Get yourselves a fucking 9 to 5 and fucking do what you're good at. Do you know what I mean? Because there's no life in it anymore.
Nah, that's it. Like, I mean, we've obviously had some big guests on who have had shady past. Yeah, and
unfortunately it catches up on you over time. Brands you with a reputation that
you can't get rid of. I've been going through it all myself, you know what I mean, obviously, but like I say, and the majority of people, and they're going on being drug dealers and gangsters and all that, the majority of them, if they're not grassing, they either get 25 years sat behind the door, which is no life at all, or they fucking end up with a drug addiction themselves and unsmacked. There's not many people that make it anymore. Do you know what I mean? It's just a fucking bad life, so just, young'uns, stay away from it. You know what I mean?
Well, you're here, you're now classed as a professional fighter. You're on you've got the ball rolling. I can't wait to see you back in action.
I can't wait to get back in there.
There's a plan for every show, just stay as active as you possibly can.
I want to do, like I say, I need you've got to have proper management in any fight game. Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, all of them, they needed it. But I'm dealing with this and I'm treating this as if it's serious, you know what I mean? It is to me, it's professional, it's what it's about. But obviously with the right management, I'm going to go all the way to the top, and that's where I want to be, do you know what I mean? But like I say, I prefer to have about 6 weeks before each fight, you know, know me opponent, know what I'm going to do, so I can treat each camp properly. But like I say, I took this one, it got moved forward, I took it at a drop of a hat, because I want that belt. You know what I mean? So, do you do any like unusual or unique like training techniques or methods to like adapt to the smaller space? Like, for example, like
we used to get lads sparring in hula hoops, like 1 foot in, so you could only move around, or 1 foot in the tyre, they would have 1 foot in the tyre.
I've seen that,
Anything like that?
You know what it is, Davey chucks him mad at us every week, so, you know, like, the man's magic, like, honestly, like, he's going to be at the next show anyway, so you'll get to meet him, but the man is magic, like, you know, like he is, he's just a different level. I think I'm bringing him and Kurt Warburton with us. He'd fought on Bammer and Bellator and all that, he's one of my sparring partners. So, like, he fought for a title on there, he got real hard fights, real good bloke, and he teaches the stuff I'm learning off him every day is unbelievable, do you know what I mean? So, it's good, yeah, but they'll be coming with us hopefully, so.
How different is it knowing that you've got that type of person, and their back and their knowledge?
They're in good hands.
No, it's got to be
Does it feel like you've got an advantage up on the rest of the
100%.
contenders?
Right, I probably do, but I don't look at it like that. But I think I had the advantage anyway. Like if I you know what I mean? Like you know, but I don't look at it like that. Like I say, I don't know. I'm just training, but it's like I've got a job to do. But like every day, I push myself to the limit in the gym with these people, and I just want to learn everything that's inside both the minds. Do you know what I mean? Like I want everything, all that information. I wish it was a book so it would be easier to learn. Do you know what I mean? But, do you know what I mean? But everything that's in their brains, I want to just suck out and put into my own brain because it's the people. They are magic people. Like they know everything. So, but yeah.
But you'll go just with knowledge alone. Never mind food at first. Right. So what's your recovery like? Like, you know, after fights or after like hard training sessions, do you recover quite fast? Or?
Yeah, but do you know what it is? Yeah, like I say, I think my body's accustomed to it now because I was training 3 times a day when I was in jail as well. Do you know what I mean? But I just wasn't doing as much technical stuff. But obviously, you know, there was a session the other week. I spent about 3 hours in a freezing cold bath. I had a strength and conditioning coach with us, and I was training with him, and he just pushed us a bit too far, I think. And obviously, like, I got home, and you know, it was like I'd been on drugs, and you know when you have to take deep breaths to slow your heart rate down. Honestly, I thought I was going to have a stroke or something. So I've just filled the bath up, like, and just sat in the bath for an hour just trying to bring myself to reality, man. Honestly, I was in 2 minds with it ringing ambulance because I thought I was going to die. I pushed it that hard, do you know what I mean? I'd done 2 sessions that day. And obviously that just like pushed us over the ledge, like, but it was good. It was a good session.
Do you not use any like any products like CBDs or anything like that?
No, there's a man I know that used to make the oils. Obviously, the fellas in grow shops local always, and that said it's the most potent one that they've ever seen. Because I've got a bit of psoriasis and all that, but you know what it is? I can't bring myself to put stuff like that into my system because it's like if it knocks us the next day or anything, I'm losing a day's training or whatever. So it's all a good idea to us. But then when it comes down to using it, like I back out. Do you know what I mean? Like
I'd definitely start giving it a go. I'd actually recommend
Mr. Bloom.
The two companies that we're in associations with. You've got Supreme CBD. You've probably seen them plastered all over the place of all the fantastic ambassadors. The products save and change lives. It's like the effects of it, like amazingly beneficial. Like, I haven't seen a bad review myself from Supreme CBD.
I know that CBD is good to people, like really good. And if you've got serious illness, I've had a couple of pals whose mothers and that have had cancer and stuff. And them people there, the mothers have recovered through it. There was another person I was getting told of the other day, they'd been down the road. There must be a witch doctors in England, I've never heard of it before, but there must be. And they'd been down to see this witch doctor, and this witch doctor had all different types of products made to deal with cancer. And the particular cancer, and she don't had so many months to live or something. And you know, the doctors are saying to her, now I don't know how you've managed to recover from this because she's used CBD products. So if you've got illnesses or anything, that CBD is good stuff for you. Like, but just me personally, I don't think I can bring myself to put it in my system unless I catch the gammy thing, which I hope I don't. You know?
Well, if you're ever over at supremecbd.uk and you're having a look and you feel like buying something, use our discount code. It's BADBLOOD666. That's bad with a capital B, blood with a capital B, 666. And that'll get you 30% discount, so can't go around with that.
We're also brought to you by New Hemp CBD as well. We've got a 15% discount code. It's pretty plain and simple. It's just Lee, capital letters. Like I said, they've got all sorts. They've got like gummy bears, vapes, balms, oils, all sorts. Really good products. Really, really good products. Back to you again, Lewis. So, obviously, how's tickets going for you?
Mint, smashing.
Flying them out.
Yeah, like, listen, obviously, like, after the last event, everybody come home and they were talking about it. You know, everybody wants to see it. Like, we need to get a local show. I'll be able to fill the place myself. Do you know what I mean? Like
up this way
like, we need a local show. I was a bit gutted that the last one's just been cancelled, the one that we were meant to have, because, like, that would have been ideal for me. But, yeah, 50 tickets flying, pumped, do you know, obviously, and I think I could do double that, to be fair.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I just feel we're in the big arenas, man, and we're filling places.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
The atmosphere is going to be electric.
Yeah, like, that's what we have to, that's what we need. We need to get this big Spartan thing out there as big as much as possible.
It's going to get bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
We'll get bigger. We'll definitely get bigger, 100%.
It's flying now, man. Probably the fastest BKB pit fighting company in Europe.
Yeah.
Flying out there. And like when this COVID fucks off, we'll be able to start getting things back on the move.
Yeah.
Big things planned.
How has COVID affected you? Because it's fucking done my head.
It's a nightmare, man. Obviously, it puts you in a situation where you're going to get penalised because of what you're doing, and you know, I'm not doing nothing bad. I'm not hurting nobody doing what I'm doing now. I don't want to go into too much detail about it, but yeah, obviously, and then the gyms and stuff. You know, when the gyms were all shut, I'm glad they're open. But this fucking Boris Johnson with his wig, you know what I mean?
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like, you know, he's just too busy fucking locking the whole country down. He just must get pissed and think, what am I going to do? Just, like, you know what I mean? What am I going to make everybody do?
Doesn't give you much opportunities to do much though, is that? Zilch to zero, so pretty much stuck on based on that, but what can we do? Can't really do nothing, can you?
No.
Apart from break a little rule or two. That's
frowned upon, isn't it?
Frowned upon, my arse.
You've got to stick to the road.
Stick to the road, yeah. We'll see. Anyway, that's pretty much wrapping things up, like fighting wise, and how you've been like transformed your life from getting out to now. But can I just ask you, do you know, obviously we're a criminology podcast as well. What was the hairiest moment you had in jail?
Fuck knows, I've had a few. I've had a few. I've enjoyed it all, like, do you know, but I don't know. Fuck knows, I've done a bit of everything. Probably is when you've got 15, 16 screws coming into your cell all in riot gear, and then after 15 minutes of having to back out because you can't do out with you, like that there, you know.
Bit of a situation.
Well, like, because obviously they start spiking your food and stuff, you know, when you're down there. So it's and you'd start down there for months on end, 3-4 months waiting for a bus to get sent on the other end of the country. So yeah, that's probably, if I had to say anything was there, it's probably them bits, you know, when I've been getting into bother and I've been kicking off. So. Any
faces, famous faces you've seen in jail?
I've been around a few decent, like, I don't know if it's right to say the names on here, like, to be fair, but I've been around people who they've written books about and who have been around people who they've written books about, you know what I mean? So yeah, obviously I've met some decent people. I don't want to say the names just in case it's not right, do you know what I mean? But yeah, I have. I've been around when I was down them London jails. It opens your eyes when you go down south because the criminal, even the crackheads are running about in Gucci down there. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, you know, but.
Right, instead of the names that you can't mention, have you got any shout outs that you do want to give?
Yeah, obviously just Kath Miller, obviously little Alan Sissony, he'll be buzzing off that. Obviously Davey and all that, yeah, my family, just well done, see you soon.
All the Spartan lot, all the new recruits, keep it going. And I want to give a massive shout out myself to Change Your Life, Drop Your Knife. It's a knife campaign run by Ben Span and they're doing a fantastic job, so keep up the good work, mate.
As always, we're here, AK Live Studios in Gateshead. You can see the place, it's absolutely unbelievable. We've landed on our feet, taking it to the next level now, so get used to it. We're coming, we're gonna be hot on your heels. Done.
Fucking flying.
I'm glad that's over there, like, guys.